Hello everyone and welcome to the Something Corny studio. I'm Elaine Lindsay and I've been working with straw for more than 35 years now. And in this series of videos I want to introduce you to this lovely craft too. The first video today is going to really explore the types of materials that we use, how to prepare them, and other bits and pieces that we might need for this craft. The straw that I use mainly is wheat, and you can see I have a sheaf of wheat sitting here just behind me. I use an old-fashioned variety, so we're always looking for older varieties because they tend to be a little bit longer than modern varieties. As well as using wheat, I also use oats, I use rye. Barley would be my least favourite. It is possible, but it would be my least favourite. It's very short, it can sometimes be brittle. And I tend to use barley more for decoration rather than for the actual plaiting itself. What you have to remember with any of the grains is that it must be grains that have not been through the combine harvester, and that seems pretty obvious to a lot of people, but it's amazing how many times I'm asked that same question. You want the straws to be nice and long and straight and hollow and certainly not damaged. You can buy your straw from various suppliers around the country, and you can either buy it in sheaves or smaller bunches, usually ready prepared for you. You'll see the two bunches I have here. This one is unprepared and you can see the leaves are still attached. And the back bundle is a bundle of prepared straws. The bundle of prepared straws is more expensive because the supplier has had to prepare them for you. But actually it's very simple to prepare your own straws, and I'll just let you see that now. So if we take a stem of wheat, so you can see we've got the ear here, and really for most of the work that we're going to do, the plaited work, we're going to use from the ear down to the first leaf joint. So if we slide down, we'll see the leaf joint, which is just here. And if I take the scissors, I can then take and cut the stem just above that leaf joint. So you see the leaf joint here? I'm just going to cut, so on the ear end or the ear side of the leaf joint, just cut. This part of the stem we can use for various things like straw marquetry and such like, and certainly keep hold of it, don't throw it away. Here is where I've cut just now. And if I then just slide the leaf along, you can see how easy it is to come off. So that's the leaf taken off of the actual stem. And that's the straw prepared. So that really is quite a quick process. And while I'm doing this, I also like to grade the straws in my bunch. So if I bring in a few others, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with grading. And usually when I'm grading the straw, I have 3 or 4 general grades. So if I hold them up for you, I take these 4 to let you see. If I hold them up for you, you can hopefully see what I'm talking about. So I go from quite a thick, chunky stem to a more medium stem, and then it gets a little bit finer until I get to this small stem at the end here. So if you see the difference between the fine straw and the thicker straw, you can really see that we wouldn't want to plait those two together. You'll really won't get a very good tension. So as well as looking at the thickness of the stems, if you're unsure if the straws match, look at the ears. And as a rule of thumb, if the ears match, then the stems have a good chance of matching as well. So you can see the much finer stem has got the small corn ear, the bigger stem, much longer ear. So once I've prepared the straws and I have them graded, and when the straw comes to you from a supplier, it is usually dry. The only time it wouldn't be dry is if you go and cut the crop yourself. But most of the time, if you're getting your straw from a supplier, that straw will come ready dried, which means that it will keep almost indefinitely as long as you keep it dry and in a mouse-proof area. So not just out in any old shed or up in an old attic or something. Make sure that it is protected. Quite often people like to use the large boxes that you get to go under your bed, and that's a good size for keeping prepared straws in. So because the straw is dry when you get it, you need to dampen it again before you can start to work with it. And in the trough here, I have a bundle of straw. If I just open up this towel. So this trough is just a trough for the garden, a window box, something like that would be perfect. Something that's long enough so it's got the length for the straw to lie flat. You don't want the straw up at an angle, and you certainly don't want to squash the straw into the position. So if you make sure that whatever you're going to soak the straw in, it's going to be long enough for the stems. If we have a look in here, you'll see that I've got the bundle of prepared straw, and what I've done is I've wrapped it in an old towel and I've just covered it with some lukewarm water. So the towel actually acts as a little bit of a weight. If you don't have the towel, then the straw floats on top of the water and it takes much longer to soak. It doesn't soak very well. So I like to wrap my straw in a towel and then just cover it with the water. Okay, lukewarm water, and leave it for about 3/4 of an hour to an hour. Once it's ready, we can then take it out of the trough. The towel can be wrung out, so wring it out really tightly, and then let the water drain out from the straws. And handle the straws at this point very carefully, because they are much more pliable now. So when I'm handling the straw, I always pick it up at this top end. This is where the weight is, at the top here, and I support it. Okay, so as I'm taking it out and letting the water drip out of it, I'm supporting the heads. Okay, so I would then wring out the towel, and then I would pop this into the wrung out towel and wrap it up. And if I move this out of the way, I'll just move it back here and bring in this straw that I've had soaked like I've just shown you, and then I've wrapped it back in the damp towel and I've left it here for another half an hour or so. I just find it softens it just that wee bit better. So the timings again are about 3/4 of an hour to an hour in the trough, and then about half an hour just in the wrung out towel. And this is going to be your straw now ready to work. So when you have a pattern that asks for dampened straw, this is what they're talking about. So you need to get to this stage before you start plaiting. You can see that the straw actually changes colour a little bit as well. It goes quite dark when it's soaked, but that will lighten again as it dries. Once you've actually got your straw, you need very little else to get started this craft. What you do need is a pair of scissors, and I like to use mostly a small pair of craft scissors. I like them with a little point to them so that I can get really close into my work if I need to, and they're comfortable to hold in my hand. I sometimes use bigger scissors as well, but basically this pair of scissors is the one that I like to use. And the other important thing is some thread. We always need to be tying our straws together, and this reel is a cotton thread, but sometimes I use a linen thread. Sometimes you can use a polyester cotton mix. It really depends what you can find, is to hand, but what you're looking for is something that is strong. So it needs to have quite a bit of strength. If you found that your thread was breaking, just double it over and use a double thread, and certainly to begin with, that's absolutely fine. And that's as much as you need. So a pair of scissors, some strong thread, and your straw, and you're away. So I hope you found the video useful, and in the next video we'll actually get started plaiting. So we'll start at this point with the straws already soaked, and we'll do some plaiting next time.